Welcome back to another edition of Startup Teardowns Marketing Edition, where we pull back the curtain on startup marketing and tell you what's really working and what's probably not. I'm Ryan Rutan from startups.com. Today, I'm joined by Tom Dewhurst and Tristan Gillen, the founders of Growth Division and GrowthX. And we're here to give you the unvarnished truth about marketing campaigns, landing pages, email sequences, and all the other stuff that startups are putting out into the world. Today, I've brought something fun to tear down, guys, if that's okay with you. We'll just jump right in. I brought an ad from a brand that you probably know already, if that's all right.
Ooh, yeah, that's exciting.
All right, let's get going here then. Who's this speaking to? Like, if you have to guess when we look at this, who's the ICP here?
I mean, business owners, surely.
Yeah.
Someone in business. Business.
Businesses.
Yeah. So, look, I'm guessing probably not enterprise, right? Like for me, this is small, mid-sized teams, probably like 5 to 500 people.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's targeting, everybody, even using like everything daily tasks, which doesn't quite make sense. So I had to double take on reading that. Yeah, they're obviously trying to be really broad with their ICP here. And I think, obviously OpenAI applies to consumer and businesses, so I can see why they're doing that. But I think with an ad, you want to be more specific to the audience, and they've missed a trick really on that front.
Totally agree. And I mean, to be fair, this is definitely not a cold awareness ad. This is, you already know ChatGPT, now bring it to the office type targeting. But I agree. I think that they've missed the mark here for me.
The actual creative is a little bit lacking in excitement or anything really specific. I don't exactly know what that means other than it's analyzing something.
But again, they've gone like super generic here. Like, why not name some of the sources? Why not tell us a little bit more about what's actually happening here?
It's almost like they're like, everybody knows us, everyone knows ChatGPT, everyone knows our logo, so let's just put it out there and put business in the copy, and then it's going to be fine.
Just a dash of business on top should be all we need here.
I feel like they could have done a better job. It's a bit confusing from the first glance, which is all you've got with an ad, right? You have to read the text, look at the image, put them together, think about it a bit. People get lost over that period of time.
Yeah, I think it passes the 1 second test because of who they are, right? I think that from a scroll on Meta, this passes that test, right? We know exactly who it is, and we sort of know roughly what category it's selling, right?
They needed to reference sources in the text, really. Like, obviously, docs and tools are sources, but you've got to make that, association. And I think that's, in an ad, a bit of a leap too far.
You get some understanding of what's going on here. I think the ingredients are right. I think the recipe's a little messed up, right?
I wonder if they actually used AI to write this.
Surely.
One would hope not, given that they're selling that. One would hope that this was Jimmy the intern that screwed this up, because we don't have to hire Jimmy the intern. But if we want to pay for their tool, then this is exactly what we're getting. Okay, so
it really doesn't give you confidence in their ad writing capabilities, does it?
Nope, not really. So let's talk about some of the bad. For me, the first thing that jumped out was like generic headline syndrome, right? AI that streamlines your workflow, right? AI for business, right? Anybody could say this, right? Who can't possibly say this at this point? Notion could say this, Microsoft could say this, Monday could say this, Slack could say this. There's no specific promise here. So for me, that's where this really starts to fall flat.
Yeah, I think the thing you want to see in an ad is a clear value proposition statement, in some way, shape or form, with a little bit of pizzazz on it. It's just missing a trick here. So if you can speak to the persona that you're targeting with an ad, you're going to get a much higher conversion rate.
Tristan, do you think that there's a temptation when a brand is this big and this strong? Do you think there's a temptation to go generic like this, where we just risk burning a bunch of money to remind people that we exist and not driving some kind of specific action?
100%. Yeah, I mean, big businesses do it all the time. Like, you just see like random ads, not really targeted specifically, not really speaking to anyone specifically. But sometimes it's also just about like getting your brand in front of people is the thing that matters, right? And I think this is probably what they're doing here. And it's got a pretty simple call to action. It's just like, go and sign up. If someone's heard about ChatGPT, they have a pretty clear call to action. This is an opportunity for me to just go and do it. I've seen this ad a few times, I've heard about it. So in some ways it probably does work.
You could argue though here, Tristan, that actually the call to action, if the objective is to build brand awareness, the call to action is actually quite a bottom of the funnel call to action. But then to go, right, now you got to sign up, maybe that's a bit of a step too far, and you want to have something in the middle, a softer call to action.
This thing really fails to make a clear upgrade story, right? It goes from kind of an awareness ad to a sign up. The assumption to me would be that people have probably already signed up. So we're not signing up for ChatGPT. We're upgrading to business, right? We've already got a ticket on this plane. We want to move up to business class now, right? But they're not telling us something that answers a real question around, like, why do I need business instead of just paying for pro or telling my team to use the free version? Let's touch on the elephant in the room, though. The missing from. Like, I can't let this go, right? The copy trips all over itself, right? If you are selling AI for business, you probably want your own ad copy to look like it passed grammar class, right? This just to me feels like one of those
reads terribly.
Just really give pause. You're like, wait. And I think we all did the same thing. How many times did you guys read that line before you're like, nope, that's definitely
wrong?
It
took a bit of time to go in.
Make a better case. Figure out if that's really what you need to say. Do you need everything, right? Could it just say to handle daily tasks like
I'm pretty sure every day
right?
task is shorter than everything.
There are plenty of ways to fix the character count here. I think, again, it's like, and if that is the case, I still don't think you look at this and you go like, the head of creative shouldn't have been like, well, we hit the character count, guys, nothing we can do. Backspace key on my laptop's broken, so just run with it, right? Hit publish.
So, it gives us maybe hope for startup marketers out there that, the big companies are screwing up as well. So if this is the bar, I'm sure you're hurdling it.
Yeah. And I think, again, that goes back to the question I asked Tristan earlier, which is like, do large companies, big brands feel like they can get away with some of this stuff? It's like, we're too big to fail. We can push.
You can look stupid.
We're still going to click our ads anyways. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
And so the last thing here, and we touched on this a little bit, and I want to stick here for just a second, which is the over-reliance on brand instead of targeting, right? Tom, you did touch on this. Why is that important? Why should we not go super generic like this?
I think for marketers and startups, you can't afford to waste your budget on it. I think, if you're a big company like OpenAI, you have the brand awareness and the clout to do brand awareness campaigns and to spend money on top of the funnel like this. But startups, unfortunately, don't have that luxury, especially at the early stages. So you have to be really targeted and go after an ICP with a really specific message.
So first takes based on, and again, like, we want to keep in mind the context we came from. So we clicked on this ad, AI for business, streamlines your workflow, connect your docs and tools, get more done together.
Yeah, we're being told something different here, aren't we?
Yeah, we sure have. Yeah, to me, they've used the wrong social proof, right? It's nice social proof. If we go down just below there, they've got some really nice logos in there. Those aren't the logos that I care about right now. I don't care that other business is doing business with ChatGPT for business. What I care about is, like, does this make sense for me? So why isn't this showing all the tools it connects with? But again, like, we're jumping back and forth. So when we clicked, it was all about the connection of the tools, right? Documents and tools. Here, it keeps harping on teams, which I get is an important aspect and one of the main differences of the business account and sort of a personal account. And now we're saying do more with your small team.
Yeah, and it is teaching you more about ChatGPT, which again goes back to the point around the call to action, saying sign up, and then it's actually going to teach you about it. So it should just be learn more. It'd have a much higher conversion rate on the ad click-through rate, and then it would actually do what it said on the tin, and then you can go 100%. Sign up after that.
100%. Yeah, I feel like we've got a pretty good disconnect here between the experience that we would expect and what we're actually getting when we get there. My guess is they're probably targeting people in a way on Meta that basically understand that these are existing customers. Could even just be customer list, right? So this could be a very, very targeted list they're sending this out to. Yeah, I think you said this, Tristan, but I think the ad should sell the upgrade, not the category, right? Everybody already knows what AI for business is. Tell them why your version is the better path, not just that we have a path.